Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the session of Growth Dialogue by Dolce Consulting. Today we have Miss Carissa, who is a corporate lawyer at Dolce Consulting, and the topic today is all about building trust and compliance in the global economy. Thank you for attending this session.
Thank
Welcome
you
to
for
the
having
session,
me.
Carissa. How are
Thank
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you for asking. All right, let's start with the session.
Sure.
How would you define corporate governance beyond the usual idea of board meetings and the compliance checklist?
Corporate governance is really about culture and accountability. It's no longer just about formal board meetings. Frameworks like we have the OECD principles of corporate governance. These highlight transparency, stakeholder management, and also accountability. And as essential, also the laws such as the UK Corporate Governance Code and the India Companies Act, 2013, all of these go beyond compliance. They expect boards to embed ethical oversight, risk management, and shareholder protection into the daily operations. So governance isn't just about regulations, following the laws and regulations. It's also about making integrity a part of your company's DNA.
True. Thank you so much for shedding light on the same. Why is good governance such a vital part of building investor trust in the long-term business success?
Investors look for trust and reliability. So a good governance, which is guided by like frameworks, like in the US we have something called the Sarbanes-Oxley,
Correct,
and we have also the principles under International Corporate Governance Network, which is the ICGN. All of these ensure transparency, accurate reporting, and ethical decision making. And this builds confidence that the company will operate sustainably and make long term investments more attractive. So, this helps with investors building trust in the company in itself.
Thank you so much for providing the clarity on the same. What lessons can we take from corporate scandals like Ron, Satyam, or Vitkar?
These scandals demonstrate basically poor governance at the end of the day. And poor governance can obviously lead to destroying companies and destroying investor trust in the company itself. Like in Enron's case, failure to enforce ethical accounting practices led to collapse. And Satyam exposed weak board oversight. So they remind us that governance isn't just about compliance, it's about embedding ethics, risk management, and accountability at every level. As recommended by, of course, the OECD principles and just general best practices worldwide.
And that's very interesting to know. All right. How are ESG factors actually changing the way governance is viewed globally?
ESG, which is basically environmental, social, and governance, is reshaping how boards make decisions.
All right.
Globally, regulators and investors are aligning with frameworks like the UN's principles for responsible investment, which is the PRI, and also you have the Global Reporting Initiative. Companies and a lot of investors also now need governance systems to integrate these risks in their strategy, which demonstrates sustainability. It also becomes essential for attracting new investors. I think new gen investors like Gen Z and millennials, they look at these factors because it actually affects them on a daily basis and are important to them. So when you talk about environment or just like green habits that companies have, it's important to incorporate these risks as well while framing governance frameworks. Yeah.
Okay, all right. What are the key expectations regulators now have from boards and management? What do you think?
Regulators increasingly expect boards to be proactive. So, for instance, in the UK, we have the Stewardship Code, and in India, we have the SEBI's listing regulations also. And these ensure proper risk management, transparent reporting, and ethical oversight. So, globally, best practices under COSO frameworks also stress internal controls, risk evaluation, and stakeholder communication. And this ensures governance is forward looking and not just reactive.
All right. How can the mid-sized companies build strong governance system without spending any heavy charges or heavy cost?
So even mid-sized corporations can implement scalable governance. Now you can use clear policies, defined roles, regular internal audits according to like ISO standards for anti-bribery management, or you also have the principles from the ICGN. Affordable digital tools for reporting, dashboards, and compliance tracking make it very easy for these mid-sized companies also to maintain accountability and oversight without a big budget nowadays. Yeah.
That's it. All right, that is very interesting. And thank you so much for providing the clarity on the same. The next question involves how the digital tools are actually improving transparency and oversight in corporate governance.
So technology is growing at an insane rate every single day, and it's transforming governance as well.
Yeah.
We also have digital dashboards, we have audit tracking systems, we have automated compliance tools that allow for real-time monitoring. So, for example, in the US especially, we have SOX compliance systems, and in the UK also we have digital boards that follow the corporate governance code. All of this guidance helps board directors maintain transparency, identify risk early, and improve operational efficiency.
All right. What are some red flags or early warning signs of the governance breakdowns? How do you deal with those?
So there are very common red flags that you can see in an institution when they start off itself. It's like inconsistent reporting, lack of accountability, frequent turnover in leadership, and just ignoring ethical standards per se. That's why we have frameworks like the OECD principles and the COSO's internal control guidance. All of these emphasize monitoring these signals as part of a healthy governance culture. And this ensures that these don't escalate into crisis, and boards and like management teams can obviously spot these problems before they become crisis.
In what ways consulting support bring the structure and discipline to governance system?
Consultants help by assessing the current systems, then they identify gaps, and then they implement frameworks which are aligned with international practices or like local laws as well. Like the Companies Act in India, for example.
Yep.
So they provide objectivity. They also give like a structured process with best practicing tools, and all of this helps boards instill discipline, accountability, and scalability without having to reinvent everything.
All right. How do you see the concept of corporate governance evolving the next 5 years?
Governance is moving away slowly from just being a compliance exercise to now becoming a strategic enabler. Like ESG, ethical leadership, and technology is going to play a much bigger role than we ever thought before. Internationally, frameworks like the UNPRI that we spoke about, OECD principles, and evolving national codes as well are pushing companies to become more transparent, sustainable, and digitally savvy. I think governance will increasingly be about embedded trust and responsibility across the organization and not just ticking boxes anymore. Yeah.
That's it. Thank you so much, Ms. Carissa. She is our corporate lawyer. She is very much experienced. Okay, also a UK qualified lawyer. And with her number of years of experience, she has an experience with the corporate governance. And thank you so much for providing clarity on the same.
Thank you so much for having me.